Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of sports, pop culture, TV, film, everything really. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis, and on Twitter, you know me as PD Beats. My guest this evening is a professional basketball player. He is one of the newest members of the Washington Wizards in the NBA, and he spent his college ball days with Tennessee. We're with Admiral Schofield. Admiral, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
No problem. I mean, right off the bat, there's going to be kind of moments in your life where you kind of decide what you want to do for a living, and there's certain things. When did Admiral Schofield decide that basketball was what he really wanted to do?
Well, I've always loved basketball ever since I was about 3 years old. Around 3 years old, yeah, for sure. I always loved the game. But I decided I wanted to really do this for a living around middle school. I said about 7th grade. I decided I really wanted to get into this thing and, work out and really strive to get better and, go for it all.
You mentioned getting better. What was kind of the point, kind of the climax, the turning point in your, middle school or college days where you really started to kind of quote unquote turn it on?
I would say it was my freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
And I was playing at a higher level than everybody else. And I was pretty young coming into high school. And quite frankly, I had to work my way up either way. I didn't play on the varsity team until like my junior year, which is crazy. And then, did well in high school, ended up getting offers on the AAU circuit. Ended up choosing Tennessee, and got to Tennessee. I was recruited to be a 2 and a 3, and the only way I could get on the floor was to play the 5.
No, absolutely.
So started at the 5 my freshman year at Tennessee.
A lot of people who follow college basketball, there's a lot of words that can describe your kind of years at Tennessee. Some people have used the words kind of monstrous, dominant. You had some amazing games over there. And you said in previous interviews, too, that you learned so much from Tennessee. What specifics can you take away from Tennessee that you can share with us right now?
I would just say all the little things that go into being successful. How the program at Tennessee really hangs their hat on that, and they enforce that, and they don't waver from certain morals and values, and it teaches you, it puts you in a routine and a different mindset that makes you want to always work and always want to just like get better, and when you're in that type of environment, it's like contagious. And it's like it bleeds into everybody, and when you got everybody's buy-in, it's like a great thing. So I would just say the biggest thing is just the type of guys as well that we had around. It was easy for them to buy in because we had high character guys as well. But it's crazy. Tennessee just taught me a lot about how to be a professional, but also how to be a smart basketball player.
Yeah, and I in my intro, I said, one of the newest members of the Washington Wizards in the NBA. I don't think you get tired of hearing that, eh?
No, that's a blessing, man. Worked very hard for that, and it really hasn't hit me yet. But at the same time, I'm very excited to be in Washington D.C. I think it's a great opportunity, great city to be in, to represent. But just to be able to call myself an NBA player, it's a dream come true.
We had a couple weeks ago, Isaiah Roby, who is a member of the Dallas Mavericks, who got drafted this year with you in the NBA draft. And one thing that he was saying, and he's keeping up with, the landscape of the NBA is changing. All these trades and free agencies, it's going to be amazing. Are you prepared for... how do you even prepare for that? There's going to be so many teams that are going to be completely different from that year. It's going to be new for you in general because it's your first year in the league, but it's just going to be a wild start, I think, with all the new kind of acquisitions.
I would just say the biggest thing for me is to pick up on things as quickly as possible.
Yep.
And in that process, with the NBA pretty much balancing out, it's just a great time to be in this league. It's a great time to have this job. It's one of the best jobs in the world. You come to work every day and your job is to play basketball. So, it's one of the best things ever. But, you got to understand that there's levels to this. There's levels to this thing. And, you got to just stay true to the process. Nothing's going to just come easy. Nothing's going to come quick. You got to understand that, constant work, constant trying to just get ahead of the next guy, just every day pushing and having the same mindset and staying locked in, those type of things win in the end. But, talent's all over the league right now. It's the hottest league right now in the world, obviously, and it's the most exciting league to be in. And, you're going to have your games. You got Brooklyn, you got, all these different teams, Boston, even the Hornets, they're going to be pretty good, and the reigning champs, the Raptors. You got to understand that the East is pretty strong as well. And then when you go to West Coast, you're not getting a break. You go to Houston, you got Russ, you got James Harden. You go to LA, you got two monster teams in LA. So just understanding, the landscape is pretty balanced, but, you're going to have to be on your A game every night. It's just going to make the league better. It's going to make the players in the league better.
Have you thought about the fact that you have the opportunity to learn from players like Bradley Beal and John Wall, who are established stars in the league? You're going to kind of be able to go there and hopefully they could take you under their wing?
No, I'm very excited. A guy like Bradley Beal being able to pull up from anywhere and, make the right pass, play. As solid as a defender, as solid as a shooting guard defender in the league that you can name. Just his mentality, his team first mentality, with his ability to take over games and hit big shots. That's a guy that I definitely want to pick my brain from. A humble guy, a guy that is, a leader in his own way. Those are guys that I like to be around and surround myself around. And John having, a little bit more charisma, and then also just being a guy that, plays with so much passion as well. And, to see their passions on the floor and see the skills that they bring and, the leadership abilities that they bring, you just want to add to it. You want to make it easier on them so they can do their job to the best of their ability and know that everything else is covered. So, coming in my role, and I told them, when they congratulated me and welcomed me to the Wizards, so I'm here to make their jobs easier, and that's the biggest thing, is coming in and trying to do as best as I can and do my job at a high level.
No, absolutely. What I also find really interesting too is, have you ever thought about the fact that, you talk about, what Bradley Beal brings and what John Wall brings? College hoops is huge. Everyone's watching it, especially with social media. Highlights are everywhere. These guys are also kind of looking at highlights of yourself and being like, wow, this is coming to the Wizards next year. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. But, I'm starting at ground zero now, and just got to be ready to, make those same plays at this level.
Absolutely. I find it really interesting because, you just got off Summer League and, it's all hitting you so fast. You go from Tennessee, now you're, a professional basketball player. Zion Williamson said in an interview the importance when he was asked about, signing autographs. He said he's going to sign as many autographs as he can because he feels grateful and humble to be kind of at the level he is. How important is stuff like that, giving back to the fans, autographs? You have a job on the court, but off the court with media and with fan interactions, that's going to happen too, Admiral.
I love those things. That's what makes the experience what it is. When you get to impact lives and impact kids, adults, just by spending a little bit of time signing something or having a conversation with them. I think the biggest thing is just understanding that you have that platform, and the way you use it is always being watched and it's always being critiqued. So just do what's right, and do what's right. And I think the biggest thing is, you don't want to be that person to be have that type of effect on the kids.
For sure.
This guy didn't sign this because he didn't feel like it, or he had a bad attitude that day. You don't want that to be your lasting impression. So always got to keep that in mind as well.
It comes with the territory, right? You guys are going to be in the public eye. You're going to be walking around the stadium, outside around Washington, D.C. It comes with the territory. You can't escape it.
It does. It does, no doubt. And you just, I mean, like I said, you just have to be mindful of that.
Absolutely. Let's go on the court for a little bit. Who exactly are the Washington Wizards getting with Admiral Schofield? What kind of player are they getting?
Just getting a winner, a guy that wants to win. Is able to adjust to any role and do it to the best of his ability. Is able to score the ball when his name is called. There's no limit to him. And he just wants to help the team win, help the organization win, and get better and become the player that he wants to be.
Absolutely.
For the best.
So I'm from Canada, so hockey is really big for us over here. And I interview hockey players on the show sometimes. And one thing you mentioned, you're starting at ground zero, playing whatever role they want to play. In hockey, it's the same way. Some players come in in junior, they played, a star role, but they kind of have to adapt because they're not going to be the star anymore. Is that safe to say that that's becoming kind of the thing in pro sports, where pro sports, the people that kind of get established careers in pro sports are able to adapt to a role that they might not necessarily be comfortable with, Admiral?
I think that's how it is in everyday life. I mean, there's people that work jobs that aren't necessarily, qualified for it, but, they found a way to make it work. It's just like a job. If I don't play a position and that's the position they need filled, but I can fit the criteria of the position, I need to learn the position as best as I can. I need to go in and do that because that's my livelihood. That's how I, make my living. But if you love the game, you just want to play, and I'm a guy that wants to play. That's why I, try to be as versatile as I can, be able to play guard and big and guard the guards and bigs, so I can be on the floor. That's what I like to do. I like to play, and that's the biggest thing is just competing at the end of the day.
You had a successful summer league. You signed a contract. What were some takeaways specifically from your experience at the summer league that you're ready to kind of bring to your pro career right off the bat?
I think the biggest thing I learned is I just got to be aggressive. Like I said, I was out there, just trying to play the right way. And this is a different level. You got to come out and you got to be able to create for yourself. And I didn't show that as much as I should have. I think in my head, but at the same time, I think I did a great job on the defensive end, defending different positions, guarding 2 through 5, and doing the best of my ability there. So at the end of the day, I would just say that I got my feet wet a little bit, but at the same time, I'll be ready come training camp.
A lot of different routes that players can go before they go professional or before they go in the NBA, and obviously being college athletes is a big route. I'm sure that's one that you recommend for all different athletes. To go the college route. Do you recommend the college route from your past experience with Tennessee?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I would say so. But I would say that at the same time, the NCAA is very tricky. So, if you have an opportunity to make money from this game, and it's a high percentile that you'll make it, and right off the bat, take it. Why not? It's the opportunity to present itself. But at the same time, it's not something to be down on yourself about going to college or having to go the 4-year route or a 3-year route. Or, you're not a one and done.
No, absolutely. A lot of people who follow you on social media see that you're pretty active on Instagram and Twitter. And, a lot of people follow along on, March Madness and everything. I want to know your perspective about, social media. Is it sometimes almost too much to handle where you kind of open up your phone and you have all your mentions and people are saying things? I mean, it's just this huge pool of kind of news and facts about everything all the time type thing. And the more news happens, like you signing with the Wizards, the more it's going to kind of erupt. It's a double-edged sword. There's good things and bad things as well.
I think that social media is a great outlet for, trying to get your brand out there and develop your brand and push your brand and use it for those things. And, sometimes comedy. When you want to go watch something funny or look into something funny. Social media can get in the way of a lot of things just by, like you said, all the mentions and, everybody being able to access you. I think the biggest thing is with social media, you got to understand with social media, they have access to you. So you have to, limit that. You have to cut that from the outside people really having access to you. You don't want that distraction. So
No,
I
absolutely.
just say you got to just be smart with what social media outlets you use.
No, absolutely. Well, Admiral, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show, man. I really, really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy and everything, and it's just going to get busier and busier, but I thank you so much for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up with you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Admiral Elite 15. You can follow me on Instagram at Uncle Sco _ I'm sorry. Uncle _ Sco on Instagram. And other than that, I don't have anything else. So you can follow me on those two things. We'll appreciate it if you follow me. I'm going to start doing a little radio show here when the season comes up. So
Nice.
you can tune into that a little bit. That would be great.
Oh, for sure. Well, seriously, all the best with the Washington Wizards, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Admiral Schofield at Peter Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.